What is up, my beautiful people? It's Adam D. Sorry for my absence. To make up for it, I am doing a giveaway. I'm giving away a free Razer Wolverine Xbox One controller. Just follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitch, and subscribe on YouTube, and I'll pick one of the comments, and I'll send you a Razer Wolverine controller that I have just laying around I'm not using. It's like an Elite controller. Anyway, this is going to be just a quick run-through of the Limited Blessings Challenge in Crown of Sorrows. This is the raid challenge for the week. If your clan is at rank 4, it's relatively easy, but there seems to be some confusion about exactly what you have to do to trigger it and to complete it, and I'm just going to walk you through it. So let's just hop into it. So for those of you who haven't started the raid yet, or are scared to do it, or haven't finished it yet, the first encounter introduces the main mechanic of the raid, which is rotating a buff called Witch's Blessing. It basically determines which enemies you can hit. There are blessed enemies and there are unblessed enemies, and if you have the buff, you can shoot certain enemies. If you don't have it, you can only shoot other enemies. The first encounter introduces this. Everybody traditionally would go and you would have 3 people hop in this green circle in the middle of the map and get the buff, and then you would split off into 3 teams of 2. One team on the left, one team in the middle, one team on the right. And then every 40 seconds or so, as the Witch's Blessing buff ticks down, everyone would run into the middle, shoot the Witch's Vessel, and it would swap the people who have the buff. It would give the other people who don't have the buff the blessing that they had, and you basically would do that every few ad waves and kill crystals and then swap the buffs again, and you just keep doing that. You have to do like a bunch of rotations until you have 4 cycles essentially complete, and then the encounter is over. Now normally you would have everybody run into the center, all 6 people shoot at the same time, but for this challenge you basically need to have it so just 2 people are getting the blessing at a time. Now the way that we handled this was we just had the left side people and the right side people were the only people going and shooting the vessel in the middle of the map, and the middle people did nothing. They didn't shoot the vessel, they just shot the ads that they could, and they never went near the vessel at all. And that's really how you complete this challenge in the easy way. It's very simple. The only thing you have to keep in mind is making sure that the people who are in the middle, or whatever side you want to not touch the vessel in the center, make sure that their muscle memory doesn't take over and they instinctively go to the middle. We had a couple people who were like, oh man, I almost went in, because normally when you do this, everybody goes in. So it's just kind of like instinctual, right? But it's honestly very straightforward. You're basically doing this 4-man with like 2 people that are just kind of helping out. The only time when it gets tricky is when it comes to killing the ogres, because obviously you're going to have 4 people able to kill 1 ogre and 2 people to kill another ogre. You're just going to have to be very mindful about calling out which side has the correct ogre. And also the crystals, we just had it so the left side and the right side, whoever had the buff, would call out when their crystal was down, and then everybody would run to the, not run to the middle, but everyone would turn to the middle, and the middle people would call out where their crystal was. You know, they would say something like crystal on me, they would stand near it, just so that we didn't have any mess ups, right? Because normally in order to take out the crystals, you need to go and have one person blessed, one person unblessed, shoot it. You're only going to have 2 people with a blessing at a time, so obviously it complicates things a little bit. But overall, it's a very easy challenge. Once you complete it and you turn in the bounty, you get a piece of raid armor or raid weapon, whatever. And once you do, I think there's going to be 3 challenges for this raid, and it obviously gives you a triumph for each one. It's part of the shadow title that you get at the end. So we're going to have to do this every single week. Not this particular challenge, but next week there'll be a new one, and so on and so forth. And then you complete some of the menagerie triumphs, and you get the shadow title. But overall, very easy challenge. I don't want to drone on, but I wanted to just give you guys the full length of the encounter so you can see, and just for clarification, my side was the left side for this particular encounter. Our middle people were not getting the blessing at all, and you can kind of see that you basically swap the buffs in the middle with 4 people instead of 6. Other than that, the encounter is essentially the same. You just have to make sure you're calling out ogres, call out your boomers up on the ledges so that people don't die, And that's really all there is to it. Just take it slow and steady. I know it's a really easy fight at this point for most people, but you can get complacent really easy and somehow mess it up. So that's really all there is to it. Just make sure you're focusing on ogres, focusing on boomers, and also, you know, bring like a loaded question, anything that's really helpful for clearing out ads, just so when you do have the buff, if you're one of the buff people, you can kill those knights quickly and they don't get out of hand. Just keep calling out everything. My strategy for raids is just to absolutely call out every single thing I'm doing so that communication stays active. The last thing you want is people to be quiet, and that's really all there is to it, guys. Again, if this was useful for you, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. I love creating content for you guys. I just want to know what you guys want to see next, so let me know. Like, and no question is stupid. There's no stupid questions. There's no stupid requests. You can message me on Instagram. You can message me on Twitter. You can message me on Twitch. You can message me on here. I try and respond to absolutely everything. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I'm going to be releasing some encounter by encounter guides for Crown of Sorrow, just because I have it on farm at this point, but I know that a lot of people are still struggling with it, and I think a lot of times, at least when I was getting back into Destiny, sometimes you just don't have the confidence to like go in with a random group of people, but if you follow some of these guides, hopefully it kind of reduces your anxiety a little bit. It's really not that bad once you get into it. I'll also share my loadout with you in a separate video, but I run this loadout for pretty much every single encounter. It doesn't require a lot of RNG to get it, or any RNG whatsoever. It's very basic, but with this loadout, you'll be able to handle the entirety of the raid. Also, just want to throw it out there, if you're on Xbox and you want help with this raid, if you don't have a mic, or you're just too afraid of getting into LFG groups, shoot me a message on Xbox or post a comment down here. I might just start streaming some subscriber raids or viewer raids if people are into that, and helping people out, because it's really a lot of fun. This is what I really play the game for, is this and the Crucible. So the more people I can share this with, the better. Again, I hope you like this. It's good to be back. Love you guys. Adam D out.
Guardian down.